Señores y señoras, niños y niñas, bienvenidos una vez más al circo dimensional. ¡Empezamos!
Vale. Pues ahora sí. Me ha costado sangre y sudor, A ver, con la cámara. A ver, estoy a la derecha o estoy a la izquierda. Estoy bien, ¿no? A ver, el pulgar está donde se tiene que estar. Vale, puta madre. Hace la de Dios que no juego a esto, ¿sabes? En resumen. De lo visto hasta ahora, por si no lo he visto los vídeos en YouTube, ¿vale? O aquí en Twitch. En el episodio 1 descubrimos que el prota, Carlos el Magufo, que es el prota, que es francés, está persiguiendo a su madre, que es esta vieja de aquí, del episodio 4, porque se ha ido a una fiesta de peña muy chunga, ¿vale? Una fiesta muy chunga, muy jodida, muy jodida. Y acabó el episodio, pues, acusándolo de asesinato. En el segundo episodio, que es este de aquí, que está bueno, tampoco lo habrás visto, el tipo, el Carlos, nuestro amigo, Carlos el Magufo, muevo las manos porque es así como se hace. Lo que hizo fue, aparte de contar el laberinto, que fue el final, empieza a tener como visiones chungas, ¿no? Del futuro. El tío es Magufo totalmente, ¿sabes? Sí, tiene poderes. Porque además lo elegí así, que fuera del tema de ocultismo. Y hoy vamos a empezar el cónclave, que es el tercer episodio. Porque aquí no hay nadie bueno en esta isla, ¿sabes? Aquí el más tonto pela gambas, ¿sabes? Entonces, vamos a darle a esto. Y a empezar.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. In your opinion, why would your mother
Creo que era el dueño de la isla.
over several weeks?
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything, even to...
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful.
No, es este.
And bring Sarah back to us soon.
I'll be leaving now because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of
Esa del corset negro es la
Emily Hillsborough, the woman with
que se quiere triscar Carlos el Magufo.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
Y la hermana gemela está muerta. Vale, me puedo poner 3 libros nuevos. Vamos a ver, ¿qué tengo por aquí? Nada, ¿no? Un punto de ciencia, engaño, persuasión o psicología. Bueno. Si no tengo nada más. De experiencia no puedo gastar nada, ¿verdad? No. No. Y talentos, pues tampoco. Pues ya podemos empezar el tercer episodio. Sí. Hace un mes que me afeité los laterales, Antonio, tío. Como no me sigues en Instagram, no te enteras de estas cosas. Bueno, este pobre desgraciado se cayó aquí envenenado.
Louis, the conference is about
Carlos,
to start.
orejudo, ¿qué haces?
This is not the time to be.
Ya.
Damn it.
Pues si no lo usas, no te enteras de las cosas, tío.
I don't know exactly, Mr. President. I was looking for my mother and I came upon this body.
Voy a poner una pausa. Yo me he juntado... Bueno, es que claro, yo miro para arriba porque tengo el monitor arriba. Me he juntado a un grupo, tío. O sea, a una página que tienes que solicitar porque es de estas privadas. De mujeres comiendo plátanos. Ya te puedes imaginar lo que hacen. Comer plátanos.
My God. You don't think Sarah did it, do you?
¿Qué dices? Distracción.
Mr. President, you really shouldn't get involved. Please be on your way. I'll take care of this. You didn't come this way and
Te
you
pierdes
didn't
cositas
see
como
me.
esas, tío.
You're right, it's for the best.
Sí, sí, pero con
If
plátanos,
Sarah
¿eh?
did that,
O sea,
I don't know
plátanos
what
de verdad,
kind
me
of
refiero.
hornet's nest
O sea,
you
bananas. Alguna viciosa que se come bananas.
my friend.
Qué calor, tío. Ding, ding, a cenar.
The conference is starting.
Time is of the essence. Sort this out and join us as quickly as you can in the conference room. Everyone will be expecting you.
Mr. President, this is not really the right time, and
Este era
Your mother's
George
seat cannot
George
remain
Washington,
vacant.
creo.
You
Sí.
must replace her while she's still missing. Your mother and I were to support Mortimer on this project. I don't know what the subject is, but the future of our
Voy a poner
country
ventilador, tío. Me
depends
estoy muriendo de puto calor.
Given the importance of all this to Mortimer, he won't let the
A ver si no
conference
peta el
begin
sonido.
without you. So if you don't want more servants coming
Tienes
and looking
Discord
for
issue.
you,
No.
I'd advise you to join us quickly and to put a brave face on it.
No.
The best favor you can do for yourself, Louis, and for Sarah, is to come and support Mortimer's project at the conference.
don't worry. You can count on me, Mr. President. I shall help you with Mortimer's project.
No sé lo que le he dicho. O sea, yo
Good, Louis.
he pulsado por pulsar.
Sarah would be
Ah,
proud.
por culo.
I'll stall them while you're on your way.
Si este juego es para jiji jaja, ¿sabes? No es para,
Don't be long.
Tell them that I'm on my way.
para ver la historia. Amigo, ¿qué te pasa? ¿Qué tienes ahí? Ah, era uno de los criados. Vale, ahora me acuerdo.
Oh, he's dead. What the hell's been going on here? Somebody smashed him in the back of his head with something. He slowly bled to death.
Vaya, murió desangrado, pero no hay sangre.
That hasn't killed him. It broke his neck.
Let's see what secret's hidden under these masks.
His face doesn't ring a bell. I'm a bit disappointed. Might have expected more from Lord Mortimer.
Ajá. Aquí hay algo. Me lo llevo.
Mother, if this is your doing, the situation is getting worse and worse.
Hostia, mira aquí hay un montón de cosas.
Leftover food. Someone's made a fire here, and the ashes are still warm. If you're the one who did it, Mother, it couldn't have been easy with only one hand. I must have just missed her. If only I hadn't wasted so much time getting out of Lord Mortimer's study. Leftover food. Ugh, not exactly fresh. Someone's made a fire here,
Oganón.
and the ashes are still warm. If you're the one who did it, Mother, it couldn't have been easy with only
Puto Magufo, que eso ya lo has visto.
an old blanket. From the looks of it, it couldn't have kept her very warm.
Vale, aquí hay una puerta.
Well, the gate is locked.
Sí, claro, obviamente. Vale, me tengo que acordar que tengo solamente 3. Otra vez. ¿Otra vez está petardeando? Ah. Pues tenía puestos los cascos pequeños y me estaban dando fallo. Y ahora he puesto los viejos y funcionan mágicamente. Yo ya no me lo explico, tío. He estado una puta semana sin jugar por eso, ¿sabes? Compré les he dicho antes al David. Compré una Sound Blaster. Compré una tarjeta también de sonido por USB. Un conector nuevo. Y cuando parecía que todo iba bien, hoy ha vuelto a petar. Y digo, pero ¿qué cachondeo es este? Ah, sí, es verdad que se podía correr con el mayúsculas. No me acordaba de esta mierda. Ah, ya me acuerdo de esto, sí, que anda que no di vueltas yo con el puto laberinto, ¿sabes? Joder, es que hace un montón que no juego a esto, tío. Eso es el mapa. Vale, 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 vale. ¿Y dónde tengo que ir yo? Pues ya ni me acuerdo de lo que tengo que hacer. Ni aquí tengo que ir a dar por culo. Ah, vale, así está la conferencia. Vale, vale, se me lo pone ahí arriba, que gilipollas, tío. No, sí, también cambié el conector. Puse uno nuevo, tío. O sea, lo cambié todo. O sea, la tarjeta de sonido nueva. El conector nuevo. Los cascos, bueno, los cascos son lo único que no cambié. Nada, tío. ¿Me dejas pasar o qué, imbécil?
Monsieur de Richet, you're the only one missing at the conference.
Joder,
Please
tío.
join the guests.
¿Qué vecino me deja pasar por aquí? Biblioteca, galerías, retratos. Ya te digo, lo cambié todo. Y nada, que no. Y yo, pues muy bien, hombre, pues no. Así que me he dedicado toda la semana a dormir. O sea, yo podía jugar bien, pero no podía emitir. Entonces era una puta mierda, tío. Cosas.
Honey, the remedy of the gods. Golden elixir, consumed without excess.
Vale. Aquí a la conferencia. Mira, tienen un mapa de la Tierra ahí. De la Tierra plana. La Tierra es plana, Magufo. Carlos el Magufo ataca de nuevo. Que aquí todos tienen las orejas grandes, ¿eh? Sí, sí, mira qué mapa más bonito.
Hey, a Russian ruble. I wonder what it'd be worth today.
El David tiene un ojo para este juego porque enseguida ve dónde están las cosas que brillan, ¿sabes? Es como una puta urraca el cabrón. Si me pierdo algo, él lo encuentra.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol water.
Water.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I am convinced. I have already told her so once, by your desire. Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere? Yes, because she asked him at the whistle, and he cannot help answering her when she said he didn't go language.
Ya. Sí, ya te digo que...
A fragment of amber.
Oh, fragment of amber. Vale, creo que ya he robado todo lo que podía robar en esta habitación. Ahora ya tengo que empezar a hablar con la gente. ¿Dónde está el guarro este? ¿Está aquí? Sí, está aquí. ¿Qué pasa, negro? Vengo a magufear por aquí.
We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly. But what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend.
Hace la trenza mientras tanto.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project.
Ah, vale, sí, a modo de resumen. Lo que pasa en esta isla es que se reúne una especie de secta mundial magúfica en la época, vamos a estar hablando del 1400, 1600, ¿no? La época de Napoleón, por ahí, ¿no? 1700, 1800, yo qué sé. Y son los que reúnen cosas chungas, ¿vale? De ocultismo y demás, libros y toda esa mierda. Y ahora, pues eso, estamos ocupando el puesto de la madre del prota, de la madre de Carlos el Magufo, que es la manca, ya la veréis luego, la vieja manca. Y ahora estamos nosotros en su sillón. O sea que aquí no hay ninguno bueno, para que me entendáis. Son todos unos hijos de puta.
Very well. Can you give me a brief explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people.
Me da cosa hasta acercarme a los cables, tío.
Aquí. The future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all. And to know.
Sí, es la única que murió, la satánica aquella loca.
In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the
mira qué nariz tiene ese.
each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
Ese creo que es el catalán.
Can take years.
El conde no sé qué, luego lo veremos. Ah, tío, paso.
Louis, let me keep you a moment.
Venga, venga, a matar.
I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory.
Oh, territorio
I'm
español.
going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French.
Continúe.
My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
Vaya, vaya.
But why spread it over two phases? Why not announce the overall project immediately?
Unfortunately,
Sí, es Napoleón.
if Spain were to hear that the intention of all this is to allow the United States to grow,
Está por ahí.
they would never sign.
El otro es el conde Godoy,
President
es Manuel Godoy,
President
en
Washington's
catalán.
appetite. If the United
Es
States
el representante de
took
España.
Louisiana, Godoy would know full well that he will have lost the entire North American continent. Things must take place
En
in
este
several
momento
stages.
de la historia.
Otherwise, the change will be too brutal, and he will have no choice but to reject the project.
O sea, lo que está diciendo el guarro este. El guarro este lo que quiere es ampliar Estados Unidos, pero tiene que quitar el territorio a España. España se lo tiene que ceder a Francia y Francia se lo tiene que ceder a Estados Unidos.
All belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious.
Ese es el Godoy. Tiene una nariz, chaval. Ese es Napoleón, el de la izquierda.
Like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis.
Es que cualquier cosa que haga me da pánico mover el cable, tío, y que deje de funcionar, ¿sabes? Es una putada, tío.
Take a seat. Follow the discussions.
Esto está cargado.
We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
He mandado un WhatsApp al Tete.
My friends, I propose we get started. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, Here we are all together
Qué
to
ruido más raro.
discuss the face of tomorrow's world.
Ya, es que intento no moverme, tío, ¿sabes? Que estoy, ¿sabes? Ni hago aspamientos así chungos ni nada. Mira, el orejudo. ¡Orejudo, hijo de puta!
Please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Ha dicho welcome among us. Eso significa que quiere vicio, ¿eh? El Washington.
I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The order has proved
Este es el Godoy.
particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The order's
A ver cómo pintan el español aquí.
King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
Tetas.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Thank you all. I am honored to be among you today. I will strive to represent the interests of the Order as best I can.
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly.
Hay que ser suave para que nos ceda el territorio con el otro, ¿sabes?
More now than ever before.
Al narizón le vamos a dar suave. Y cuando se... I have a dream. Eso me suena, ¿eh?
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer.
Cuando se distraiga el catalán, ¡puñalada! En la nariz.
That North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and
Mire,
should
mire,
not do.
el español,
When we
el
went
catalán.
to all the trouble of gaining the territory of
Sí, sí, ahí, puñalada, 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 puñalada.
just to lose it today.
Pero a este hay que cortar la nariz, mira que puta nariz tiene. Hijo de
What
puta.
did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you, but rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
¡Puñalao!
Since you give me the choice, my good fellow.
What is this shit? Que este no es Napoleón, que este es el Godoy. Napoleón aún no ha hablado. Que no te enteras, Antonio. Este es Godoy.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of
Este es
course,
Carlos el Magufo.
by your notorious Indians.
El prota.
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not a question.
Duke, these savages, as you call them, were there before you. They're on their homeland.
As much as the black people of Africa, Monsieur de
Negros en África.
does not stop your dear France from massacring them and sending them like cattle to Mr. Washington's cotton plantations to provide him with cheap labor. So you keep your morals to yourself, if you please.
Senor, I would not like to be associated with that. The subject of black slaves in the United States of America is a complex subject, which we shall resolve at a future date.
No voy a decir nada. ¡Hijo de perra! Vamos a decir hijo de perra.
It obviously doesn't stop you from sleeping at night.
Not in the least.
Toma.
Do not imagine I have anything against the American Indians.
El protocolo. No sé qué ha pasado. No sé qué ha pasado con el protocolo. ¿Qué le pasa a Godoy? Inmunidad. Protocolo. Vale. Vale. El protocolo no le mola. No le mola. Ahí ya lo hemos pillado a este. A esta es la muerta. Ocultismo. Inquisición. Vale, estos no lo sé. Hombre, Antonio, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, guapo.
That is not the question.
Te como el cachopo.
Business is business. It is the natural order of things, Monsieur de Richet. There have always been men who govern other men. That is simply the way it is.
And it might as well be the likes
No.
of you who rule. Is that
A
right?
ver, ahí pone Ahí pone el texto. El cachopo se ha suscrito durante los últimos 3 meses. Currently on 1 month. Durante el próximo mes. Te cuento el próximo mes, sí. Si pone eso, pone que llevas 3 meses suscrito, guabón.
But of course.
Come now, my friend. Let us not digress. Anyway,
Has viajado al
these
futuro.
primitive people have no souls, Louis. We bring the good word to them in order to save them. You'll see. Colonization brings with it many benefits too.
Excuse me, if you don't mind, Your Eminence.
Bueno, cuidado que habla el Vaticano.
Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France, free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protege. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
Hijo de perra. Política, persuasión. Esta cobra 4, ¿eh? Y esta solo una. ¿Lo engañamos con política o lo engañamos con persuasión? Lo protegería de los americanos, lo protegería de los ingleses. Los españoles y los ingleses...
We are neighbors, Duke Manuel. Remember, your main rival in Europe is more likely to be England.
Tampoco le va la política, ojo. Le hemos pillado 2 al tonto este, a ver, personajes. No, personajes, talentos, mapa. ¿Dónde está el subnormal este? Aquí. Es inmune a la política y al protocolo, vale. Ah, vale, que es inmune. De puta madre, me ha pillado, tío. Con el carrito del helado. Sí. Era más fácil lo otro, tío.
Even if I do agree, Duchess, the omnipresence of the English fleet in Atlantic waters does not particularly please me.
I must say, William, I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland, where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you, and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
Tendría que haber elegido la otra.
But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Am I imagining things, or does it look like Washington isn't aware of Mortimer's plan?
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolution.
Ahí el Vaticano hablando.
King killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
Your Eminence, have no fear over that. I am sure France will do everything in its power to protect the Christians of Louisiana.
My young friend, how can you come out with such a remark after the discussion we had on the evening of your arrival? If France
tenía que haberme tomado una mierda de esas antes.
Worship, it would not be bleeding priests as it is doing at this very moment in time. Don't be naive. This is politics. The Holy See must be
el cura tiene un cacahuete, sí.
such a large territory falling into the hands.
Es como el dinosaurio ese que pega cabezazos de Jurassic Park.
L'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso.
Mira, ahora habla en italiano.
I hope that you will teach this pretentious young man some manners, Sir Gregory. It looks like I won't be just
Carlos de Magufo habla también inglés, habla italiano también, ¿eh?
I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich will sicher Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
Cierto. Presunto jamón.
I assure you, Emily,
The Prussian will never accept this agreement. Volman looks like he's set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grey times. We don't care about the fate of...
Bueno, ahora las estoy cagando todas unas tras de otras, ¿sabes?
That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one.
Sí, sí, al cura le mola la carne joven.
Mr. Royal Gigolo, lower the volume and let Sir Gregory finish.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare you!
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your
Este es un chungo de cuidado.
as per usual. Chaos. That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me.
Vaya, vaya.
Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
Yo me quedo con el bigotes.
As for me, I think I shall remain with Lord Mortimer, Sir Gregory.
You are committing a grave error, Louis.
Carlos el Magufo se queda con Mortimer. Hostia, ¿has visto las fotos de la operación, tío? Que puta jeta le han dejado a la mujer esa. Pobrecilla, tío, me da mucha pena, tío. Mucha pena. Toma, esto también me da pena. Dame un like en el YouTube, hijo de puta. Que el YouTube no se come.
My friends, I would like to thank you for staying.
Good God, William. What is this I hear about you reinforcing military?
¿Te has fijado? Lleva el símbolo de los masones en el cuello.
I have no interest in having France for a neighbor, and you know that very well.
Calm down, George. Louis, explain our plan to Mr. Washington, please.
You see, Mr. President, Lord Mortimer anticipates that once France obtains Louisiana, they will cede it to you.
What do you mean? To us? The United States?
You heard right.
But
President Washington,
Pero...
the United States will double in size.
By what miracle have you...
You need to expand, George. You and France are the two major democracies in the modern world. It is necessary that you both become superpowers.
Superpotencias.
Sponsor democracy throughout the world?
Of course, Monsieur Peru. That's why I don't want Spain to get too attached to those weapons. Please continue, Louis. Explain my vision to Mr. President.
6.000 peseta de whisky. ¿Qué dice este? Por supuesto. Centrado, sin coste, por supuesto. Más uno, ¿qué? Por favor, continúe. Explique la visión del señor presidente. Sí.
By going through France, Spain won't suspect that it's you who's going to take possession of Louisiana. They'll even believe that France will be a protective buffer between itself and California.
Me debe ser mi peseta de whisky.
If Senor Godoy was afraid that you might take the territory by force, now he's reassured. You would never attack France.
But why didn't you tell me before?
So that Lord Mortimer would appear to be isolated without support.
Exactly. You got it, Louis.
Lord Mortimer retains the advantage by advancing undercover. And, for it to work, he needed you to act surprised.
William, you haven't changed. Always one step ahead.
One step ahead? You're joking. More like 5.
On that note, my friends, it's getting late. Mr. President, continue to take offense over my project when we resume the conference in the morning. You do it to a T. And if Sir Gregory has the audacity to send you an emissary to convince you to go against me, do me a favor. String him along if you can. The more they believe we are divided, the more we'll have our hands.
Estoy terminando de hacerme la trenza, por eso no hablo,
Too happy to oblige.
Now, let us get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen.
Me he hecho una en cada esquina, ¿sabes? O sea, tengo que tener una barba ahí de pordiosero.
Louis, if you have a minute.
Sí, hombre, sí, tengo un minuto.
I'm going to require your services.
¿Qué quiere Carlos el Magufo, señor?
Tell me all about it.
Our adversaries are many, and the closing vote of the conference will soon be upon us. Time is of an essence, so I'll need you to assist me this evening.
How can I help?
I need you to go this very evening to persuade Senor Godoy to join us. He is the backbone of Gregory's resistance.
Vale, que me carga el catalán.
And all the others will follow in such a stampede that Gregory will be able to do nothing but admit defeat.
Lord Mortimer, with all due respect, don't you think I'm the last person Godoy wants to talk to?
I'm sure you can do it. I believe in you.
Vale.
Lord Mortimer, you're not telling me everything.
Let's say I wouldn't disapprove if the Right Honourable, though nonetheless choleric, Duke Manuel put you in his bad books. If it could motivate him to declare war on France, it would greatly serve our interests.
War? What do you mean?
I told you before the conference.
Ah, hijo de puta. O sea, este lo que quiere es que se provoque la guerra entre España y Francia. Para así, una vez ganada la guerra, pedir que Luisiana pase a ser de los Estados Unidos.
The more we distract Spain from
Es listo,
the
es listo.
less it will have an eye on Louisiana.
But all the same, we're talking about a war in Europe.
Don't worry. That's why Mr. Bonaparte is with us. I am convinced we'll be perfectly capable of managing the conflict. And Senor Godoy is not a great soldier. He will not commit Spain to a long war that he won't be capable of managing.
I'll go straight away.
Thank you, my boy. And get some rest afterwards. Big day
O sea que le tenemos que liar parda.
Aren't you afraid our projects for Italy may be discovered before...
Este sí es Napoleón, Antonio.
Please excuse us, Louis, but I need to speak with Lord Mortimer in private.
No.
Sí, sí.
What do you want, Louis?
¿Qué dice que quiere? ¿Qué?
I'm going to have a word with Duke Manuel, but you know him better than I do, I believe.
Deme algún consejo, señor. Es que me da miedo hasta moverme, tío. Te lo juro.
Pertaining to his rank. He's not fond of courtly manners.
Thank you for the advice, my lord.
Vale, venga.
I shall be leaving you.
Que os follen. Es verdad que le maté al loro, tío. Le maté al loro. Le di chocolate, creo. Y hizo... Y se murió, mira, ahí está. Está cadáver ahí. El boniato ese, míralo. Pobrecito. Mira que lo decía claro, ¿eh? No darle chocolate al loro. Y yo voy... Y yo voy y hago... ¡Toma! Te hizo putrum el Twitch. Yo creo que aquí ya lo rebañé todo, ¿sabes? La vez que vine... En el episodio 2 me llevé todo lo que había en las paredes y todo, ¿sabes? No dejé, vamos... Ni papipas. ¿Qué ha dicho que tengo que ir a la habitación de...? Vale, es inmune al protocolo y a la política. Eso lo tengo que tener en cuenta. Mira, hay una cosa ahí que brilla.
A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Sí, soy lorucida, tío. Bueno, no sería un loro o un tucán, pero vamos, que no le puede dar chocolate, que lo mata. Lo mate con eso. Ahora estoy jugando a esto, ¿qué me estás contando, Antonio? Mira, aquí se ha caído algo. Aquí ha pasado algo, ¿eh?
Hey, Peru's name tag's fallen off.
Aquí ha pasado algo. Hola. Aquí he oído pelea. Una caja.
A Greek drachma. A pattern with 4 circles.
Vamos a robar esta caja. Droga.
Dear Monsieur Peru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation.
Bla, 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 bla. Vale. Viva la República, tu puta madre.
I've retrieved everything.
Putos republicanos. Paliza os daba a todos. Mi querida, virtuoso paciente, así que se cuenta, bla, 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 con todo mi amor, tu orgulloso padre. Bueno, fantástico. A este le han dado matariles fijo. Un libro, qué interesante.
Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
El fantasmagoria ese hay que pillarlo directamente en Steam, que son 11 pavos, tío. Porque si lo pillas en la otra página, está 20. Pero solamente lo voy a pillar si vamos a jugar. A ver, la llamada ya lo tiene, ¿sabes? Y ese juego es para jugar con colegas. Mínimo 4, si no, no tiene puta gracia. Bueno, a ver, que me centras, Antonio, tío. A mí háblame de esto, no me hables de lo otro.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Dice, ya me he llevado todo. Hola, mijo, ¿qué te pasa? Este también tiene una buena tocha, ¿eh?
Your door was ajar, and given the state of your room, I was worried.
It's none of your business.
Very well. I'll leave you then. See you tomorrow, monsieur.
Vale, pues... no quiere hablar. Me meto por aquí.
My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to...
Vaya, me he metido en la habitación de Bonaparte.
A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
The Battle of Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander
the Beaucaire dinner. It hasn't been signed yet, but there's a letter with it.
Con dos cojones, me meto por donde...
It isn't signed. That's some quality paper.
Me meto por donde me da la gana.
I'd say it's Mortimer's.
Me estimo la parte, me prometí. Aquí tienen las páginas que recomiendo publicar. Vale.
So, Bonaparte is going to publish a book that he didn't write. That crafty little rascal.
Hannibal crossing the Alps. Another military success.
Me meto por todos lados. Sí, sí, totalmente. Ha contratado a un negro para que le haga el libro, ¿sabes? Vamos a ver a Godoy. ¿Dónde está su cuarto? Habitación de la torre, habitación de la torre, habitación de Richet, es la mía. Por atrás, las escaleras están por atrás.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Están llamando a la puerta, ¿eh? Una habitación vacía pone. ¿Ves cómo está llamando a la puerta? Ah, es este gilipollas.
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but no one will open the door.
I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Roller out of the way.
Excuse me, but I must fetch a letter for the Duke.
Very well, sir. You may pass.
He entrado.
Mary Louise of Parma. How ironic having a painting of the Queen of Spain in one's room, my Lord Duke. Hey, it looks like someone slipped something in the back.
Ha introducido algo por detrás.
It's a letter. See what it says. It reeks of
Huele a
perfume,
culo.
and it's written in Spanish. Godoy.
Eres un picarón, Godoy. Mierda, no tengo puntos.
So, let's see what it says.
Mi delicada Pepita, Pepita. Me siento muy culpable por estar tan lejos de ti de nuevo, aunque sea por el bien del país. Me siento fatal, no sé qué, ya te lo he dicho todo, bla bla bla, sacrificio, bla 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 bla. Vale. El duque Godoy le mete cosas por detrás a la reina Pepita, ¿eh? Hala. Ya tengo para chantajearle.
Manuel Godoy, a painting of himself in his room. Now that's not going to help him develop a sense of modesty.
A ver, ¿qué más puedo robar?
Don Quixote.
El Quijote.
Talking without thinking. Prometheus, punished for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man.
Vamos a rebañar la habitación del Godoy. Carlos el Magufo. Magufo de día, ladrón de noche. No. Aún no. Es como Marco. En un puerto italiano, en un pueblo. Al sur de la montaña vive nuestro amigo Marco en una humilde cabaña. Se levanta cada mañana para ayudar a su pobre mamá.
Don Quixote.
Ya no me acuerdo de toda, tío.
Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim.
Sé que la madre se pira y lo deja ahí tirado al pobre Marco. Pues igual que a este. Por pringao. Cuántas cosas. Más cosas. Hay una buena hostia de aquí, ¿eh? Sí, sí. Buena hostia ahí. Agua del Carmen. Hola, amigo. Ya me meto en esta, a ver. Algo me encontraré seguro. Nada, fuera. ¿Dónde mierda estoy? En la habitación de Piaggi. Ah, del cardenal. Ah, vale. Estamos en la habitación del cura. Cuidado. Cuidado que no me viole el culo. Vamos a ir rápido.
Amber crystals. The Lying Girl by Boucher. Here's a painting of mischievous eroticism.
Príncipe del ámbar.
I wonder what Piaggi must think of this. Venus and Cupid with a satyr, a Correggio. Innocence and discretion and lechery.
Cuando ya no tenga nada más que robar por aquí, pues me voy. Entonces, estas dos son de mi habitación. Entonces yo tengo que estar aquí, donde está el Godoy, ¿no? O sea, el de Godoy son estas. ¿Y qué tengo que hacer yo aquí? Aparte de robarle.
Don Quixote. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim.
Creo que no hay mucho más por robar por aquí, ¿eh? Aquí hay algo.
A fragment of amber.
¿Ves? Un fragmento de ámbar.
Brutus and his companions taking an oath to kill Caesar. Charles IV of Spain. Now there's no chance of Godoy forgetting who he owes everything to. Prometheus, punished for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man.
Hay más, mira, hay más cosas para robar aquí. Pues a ver, aparte del cuadro... Estoy un poco perdido, ¿eh? Un poquito, solo un poquito. Ah, voy a explorar mi habitación. La habitación de Carlos el Magufo. A ver qué puedo robar en esta habitación. Que es la mía, claro.
Dear Monsieur de Richet, please excuse me, but I am unable to join you at present.
Last Judgment. Why do I always get the most terrifying room? Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter.
Oh, vosotros que entráis, abandonad toda su esperanza. Pues a ver dónde está el Godoy, colega. Oye, amigo, que no está aquí, ¿eh?
Ah, Monsieur de Richet. You wouldn't have seen Duke Manuel by any chance, would you?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I wanted to speak to him, but
Creo que me he colado.
no one will open the door.
Se me ha enganchado el texto.
I'm not sure he's in there.
If I want to pass through, I'll have to get Volner out of the way.
Perhaps he didn't hear you. Did you try entering?
No, of course not. It would not be proper, after all.
Este creo que no era bueno para la manipulación, estoy seguro. Ah, no sé dónde está el gilipollas este. Manipulación. Vale, es inmune al ocultismo, pero la distracción no.
I've searched all over the manor, but I can't find him.
One thing's for sure, Monsieur de Richet. He's neither in his room nor on this floor. I've just looked all over.
I propose we both look for him. The first to find him tells the Duke that the other is also looking for him. Agreed?
Perfect. Let's do that. I shall have a look in the library. If you find the Duke before me, tell him I want to speak to him.
Yes. Let's proceed as you say.
Puede ser.
Thank you, Monsieur de Richet.
Right. Now be a good boy and go look somewhere else.
Pero yo no sé para qué vuelvo a entrar, ¿sabes? Es que decir... Yo creo que aquí ya he hecho todo lo que tenía que hacer. Un repaso rápido. cartas están leídas. Sí, hay un libro, pero ya está leído, ¿ves? Me acerco aquí y ya está leído.
Don Quixote. Talking
El
without
Quijote.
thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I'll have to think about that one.
También lo que ha dicho el tío, que no hay nada en esta planta, ¿sabes? Es decir, el notas este puede estar en cualquier lado de la mansión. Como no es grande, ¿sabes? A ver, Ramón, ¿qué pasa
What
contigo?
can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
¿Por qué no?
Have you seen Duke Manuel?
The Duke is in the dining room, sir.
Mira qué bien. En el comedor. Y el comedor está aquí. Es tan fácil como preguntar las cosas. ¿Dónde está el duque? En el comedor. Ya está. ¿Para qué vas a estar dando vueltas como un subnormal? Cuando puedes preguntarlo. Digo yo, ¿eh? Es mejor preguntar que quedar mal, tío. ¿Dónde está el duque? En el comedor. ¿Qué hace? Comiendo. Pues ya está. Mira, mariposa. Oh, música de piano. Está tocando los éxitos de España del siglo XV-XVI. Hola, amigo.
Duke Manuel?
Vengo a tocarle los huevos.
Monsieur de Richet, I was not expecting you. I am not in the mood, sir, I warn you. What do you want from me, sir?
No está de humor. ¿Este era inmune a la psicología? No.
I see you're still feeling under pressure. Since your arrival, I've noticed that you've been on the defensive. It seems to me that Monsieur Perrier has a knack for getting your back up.
That is the least you can say. Indeed, I was warned. I knew what to expect.
Ahora hay que
For
hacerle
God's sake,
el chantaje con la carta.
why in the hell did your people execute their king? Have the French gone stark raving mad? There are nothing but monarchies in power in Europe. They will all come crashing down on you.
We shall see. It might, well, turn out to be the opposite.
You certainly do not lack for audacity, young man. Just tell me one thing, monsieur. Why did you side with Mortimer? He is alone, isolated. The United States can do nothing to help you, and France is surrounded by over 10 countries, just waiting for the word to pounce. Really. I do not see why
Vale,
you choose
es
Mortimer.
inmune a la política. Pero el ocultismo lo hace
The
vulnerable.
Golden Order, my friend. The Order is everywhere. We come from France. We are President of the United States, England, and many other countries. We have ambitions and the means to carry them out. You'll see, once all hell breaks out and your English support starts to fade away. The Order is an international organization. It matters little what governments do. Otherwise, why would Mortimer have gone to the trouble of inviting my mother?
If you are right, Sir Gregory has got it all wrong. Tell me, do you really believe Spain has any interest in
Duke
ceding
Manuel,
Louisiana to
for
France?
Spain, I don't know. But for you, I'm convinced that
Toma.
Lord Mortimer will thank you generously.
You would not be trying to bribe me, would you?
Sí.
Nothing could be further from my mind. It would be an insult to believe that someone such as yourself might have a practical attitude towards its virtue. Even so, it is only natural that you be supported and encouraged if you were to follow Lord Mortimer, isn't it?
Indeed, for services rendered, it would be natural for me to receive compensation for the time spent achieving such an undertaking, yes?
Naturally. And
Claro,
given
hombre.
your status, my Lord Duke, the compensation
No,
will
no
have
se había
to be
inventado
considered.
todavía, tío. Estamos hablando de la época de la Revolución Francesa. No existía el coronavirus todavía. ¿Chantajearlo o persuadirlo? Es que cuesta 4, tío.
I'm sure that Lord Mortimer will be very appreciative. He's always supported those who have given him help, and you know well that he has every means to do so.
That at least is true.
Come on, you fool, give it up. You're trapped like a rat.
Monsieur, I am astounded. I did not think you capable, but you have succeeded. I will be more wary of you the next time. Nonetheless, if you can guarantee Lord Mortimer's support, then yes, you can count on my vote when the time comes. However,
Tenía que haberle chantajeado.
I expect you to be discreet with regard to my former partners, without which our agreement will become null and void.
Of course, my Lord Duke. You can count on me. Lord Mortimer will be delighted to hear the news.
I hope you know what you are getting into, Louis. I bid you good luck.
Good night, my Lord Duke.
See you tomorrow. Well, that's one thing out of the way. Only thing left to do is wait for the conference to resume tomorrow morning.
Toca conos en la mano, fíjate. Toca, toca. Qué falso es en playback. Qué falso, tío. Qué tío más falso. Qué asco de tío. Vete a la cama. Eso es lo que dice arriba a la derecha. Acá que está. Es que no lo veis. Lo pone arriba a la derecha, pone vete a la cama. Vete a cagar. Sí, 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 sí. Es un pianillo, eso es automático, ¿sabes? Qué guarro, tío. Ah, espérate, que me he ido a la biblioteca. La biblioteca es nada. Es una puta locura de sitio. Mira ese grande la biblioteca. No se ve el fondo. ¿Dónde está la puta escalera? Aquí. La puerta. Creo que entré por la misma puerta que he salido. Ah, no. Lo he hecho bien. Había un libro por ahí. No he encontrado libros, no he encontrado casi nada en este episodio, ¿sabes? Es un poco... Puten mierden. Lee las cartas escritas por los invitados. Claro, lo hago siempre. Al final el cachondo ese se ha ido sin... También estaba aquí, ¿no? Sí. El cachondo ese se ha ido sin saber dónde estaba el duque, ¿sabes? Le jodan. Por tonto. Que te jodan, que te jodan, que te jodan. Esta no es mi habitación. Es esta. Vaya. He llegado. Oh, oh.
Good evening,
Hola. Hola, amiga del corsé.
What a charming surprise. I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir.
Ha penetrado mi armadura, señor. No, no.
That's not what I said.
Vamos a la follasca.
By the way, you surprised me during the conference.
Why is that?
Well, you are going to lose. Why stay with Lord Mortimer?
I believe he has every chance of winning.
My, you are a rash one. However, if ever you want to change sides, please feel free to let me know.
But tell me, you didn't come here to try and make me change my mind, did you?
That's the last thing on my mind. Although you would have everything to gain by it.
¿Quieres follar? Follemos.
Do you perhaps know something that I don't? Come on, Emily. It's time you lay your cards.
¿Para qué discutir?
If you have a good reason for Spain to keep Louisiana, I'm all ears.
Louis, I can assure you on good authority that the Crown will never let France take over Louisiana without taking firm action. Your country has everything to lose, especially now, it being weakened as it is on the home front.
In other words, you believe the aim is to weaken France?
Just an observation, Louis. Louis, if you trust me, you ought to ask yourself why I have chosen home. You do trust me, don't you?
Of course, Emily. You know you have my full trust.
Louis,
me ha
you're
pillado.
lying. That's not good. Any more of that and I might get upset. Admit, though, that it does make you think. There's still time.
Pero bueno, al menos he descubierto que no se la puede manipular.
Before it's too late.
Está complicado, ¿eh?
Unfortunately, my word is my bond. I don't want to leave Lord Mortimer in the lurch.
Very well. As you
Si no hay
wish.
arcada,
It's
no hay
up to you
mamada.
to
O sea, si no hay
decide.
mamada... De eso, sí. Si no hay arcada, no hay
Are these
mamada.
visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes and no. My sister doesn't normally disappear like she has. Any news of your mother?
Still nothing. And you? Any news of your sister?
No, but knowing her, I'm persuaded she's on someone's trail. You'll see. She'll surprise us all.
If only you knew, Emily. You're right. We must remain positive. I'm sure it won't be long before she turns up.
Siempre positivo, nunca negativo.
She is Duchess Hillsborough, after all.
And as such, she is capable of anything.
I am sure that you'll appreciate her. You'll see.
No doubt about that.
And it might turn
Bueno, a ver,
out
tú,
that
guarra,
you'll
si no me vas a
prefer
comer la polla,
her
después
to me.
píllate la cena.
Who knows?
Es un poco bestia lo que digo, pero las cosas son así, ¿eh?
Indeed. Who knows?
You like to play with fire, Louis. Can we change subject?
Me ha llamado
please?
Lily.
I didn't come here to go through all that again.
Of course, it's late.
A ver,
You're right.
¿hay mamada o no? Esto, aquí no hay family friendly. Vaya beso de mierda. Ven aquí, que te voy a reventar. Cago en Deu.
Come, Louis.
A la cama. Estoy teniendo una pesadilla. Carlos el Magufo tiene una pesadilla. De sangre a la tocha. Se ha metido una rayuza.
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with informing our allies, but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
Qué asco de
What
tío.
do you
Qué
think
feo es el cabrón, hijo
about
de puta.
Monsieur de Richet?
I don't know yet. I feel there's great potential in him. He looks like he can be trusted. And Duchess Hillsborough. Why isn't she here? She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important
Se quiere encargar a la tía que me acabo de zurrar.
What are we going to do about Washington? He will be a hard nut to crack. On our chessboard, he is Mortimer's king. Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing. To keep his dear America united. He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved on a whim. He has been serving Mortimer for quite some time. It won't be easy to bring him around.
Es que me dan ganas de pegarle con esa cara,
Do you
tío.
feel all right, Mr.
Lo juro.
Goodhoy? You haven't said a word.
Please excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now!
Vaya. Yo me voy a comenzar la tocha. Me muero. Me he metido 20 gramos.
Emily?
Sí, sí, ahí va, está para ti.
Emily? Are you there?
Te hizo la follasca y se fue.
Sir, the conference is about to begin. You are expected in the conference room.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
Vale. La conferencia. A ver si no la
My
cago.
friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days. This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions so that we may reach a greater understanding.
As always, Lord Mortimer.
We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me reassure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to get around the table in order to hear everyone's
A ver si puedo empezar ya a dar por culo a la gente.
Firmly against it, even though my
No tengo.
choice won't count.
Against.
Against. Against.
And you, Duke Manuel?
Well, you see, it is more
Mucho
complicated.
texto.
It,
Come, Gregory. Don't try to impress my guests, please.
They are not your guests.
Gregory, anyone under my roof is by definition my guest. You included. I would be very grateful if you would let my guests speak. Duke Manuel, you were saying you still had some doubts?
well, you see, the situation has changed since last night.
What's going on here, my Lord Duke?
You see, I gave it some thought during the night. New arguments have come to light.
What do you mean, Duke Manuel?
Sir Gregory, I regret to inform you that Spain will not support you in this operation. I vote for. Moreover, in response to arguments brought to my
Declara la guerra a Francia.
I declare war on France.
What? What is he doing?
If you think France is afraid of you, you are dreaming.
Over 10 nations rise against you, young man, and you behave like a yapping little dog?
When the French armies are at your door, my Lord Duke, you will change your tune. Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's project, despite the Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing
¡Hala!
maternal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing at trying to
O
win
sea que la tía se folló a todos ayer.
It was nothing more than a friendly little chat, of course.
How could it be otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington, what is your position?
Joder.
Of course.
Well, that leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
Have you been drinking or what?
There you are, quibbling away. My lord did this, and Madame Duchess that. You know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string.
Jacques, Camille.
Let's end the charade. It's over.
Jacques,
My lord, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
come, Jacques, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back, my lord.
Cuidado.
I shall no longer work for you.
No, no te mates.
De Richet, you just can't help it, can you? Stop trying to play the hero, man.
Monsieur, I know I don't really know you, but you seem like a decent person.
I have done so many horrible things.
Cuidado, esto es súper interesante,
You blame yourself. I can.
Se va a pegar un tiro con una pistola de plomo.
I don't want to do bad things anymore.
You can take control of yourself again. You can fix whatever it is you've done.
Do you really believe that?
Of course, Jacques. You'll have all the time you need. I'm sure we can work things out.
But you don't know him.
Let's stay united, Jacques. He's nothing without us.
Really?
Trust me. This is not who you are. You're better than that.
You don't know me.
Yes, I do. I know you're no coward. So give me your weapon, please.
But
There's nothing to fear. I'm
Joder,
right
chaval.
here.
I don't want him to talk to me.
Se ha salvado.
Don't worry, you're safe now, Jacques.
Al puto tuerto, chaval. Casi se pega un tiro el tuerto.
Someone if Monsieur de Richet here hadn't stopped you. Your behavior is unacceptable. You would do better to go and rest in your apartment. My friends, we shall continue the conference later. I would like to apologize for the inexcusable behavior of my guest. We all need to recover from all of this excitement. Take the rest of the day off.
Uy, chaval. Claro. Pues mira, ya he terminado el cónclave. Me faltan 2 más para acabar el episodio de hoy. Esto va para rato, ¿eh? Os aviso. Puede que sean cortos o puede que sean largos, no sé si. No, no he fallado. He fallado en unas cuantas, pero ¿ves? Mira. No hay ninguna fallida, ¿lo ves? En el centro, ninguna. Solamente que hay caminos alternativos que podría haber hecho y cosas que no he hecho, ¿ves? El secreto de Gregory no lo he descubierto. El secreto del tuerto tampoco. Pero bueno, tengo más buenas que malas, ¿sabes? ¿Me han dado puntos? 4 puntos, vale. Podría subir psicología. Camino del Magufo. Creo que no puedo subir nada. O sea, gastar puntos para nada. Pero puedo subir de estas. Así. Y de manuscritos no tengo nada, así que... Más o menos. Sí. Apuestas peligrosas, me han dado un logro. ¡Capítulo 9!
I don't understand. I spoke to him only recently. Monsieur Peru has lost his mind. It's obvious.
Están todos revolucionados.
Another way for the French to make a spectacle of themselves. Well, once again it has worked.
My friends, let us settle down, please. We are all in shock, of course. Let us celebrate Louis's courage. He enabled us to avert a tragedy.
Yes, that was very noble of you, Louis.
You have given us all a fine lesson in courage.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Owes you his life. That's quite something.
That madman deserves to die.
We are providing Monsieur Peru with care, but rest assured, he is no longer a danger to himself or anyone else. I think everyone needs a little rest.
Venga, todos a la cama.
Can you stay a moment?
Of course.
Tú no. Tú te quedas aquí que te voy a dar fuerte y flojo. Asesino de pájaros.
Louis, I wanted to thank you personally. I admire what you did to save Monsieur Peru's life.
Tengo una cosa por aquí. Ahora. Ya está. Que me están saltando las notificaciones del Steam.
Don't mention it.
Y me molesta.
You would have done the same. I was just quicker.
Humility is a fine
Me
quality.
molesta. Me molesta.
I've sedated him. I don't want him trying to take his life again. Or, worse yet, attacking one of the guests. When in despair, Monsieur Peru is clearly a dangerous man.
Tell me, my lord, can you think of any reason why he would be so terrified of you?
Terrified? Come now, that's a bit harsh. I think he was simply unable to put things into perspective. I see no reason to fear me. Ask President Washington. I don't believe I'm such a difficult friend.
Having spoken to him, I can assure you that he feared you even more than death itself. Had he disappointed you in any way recently?
Of course, he was on the edge. He was desperate, and it grew noticeable in his work. Our collaboration was probably coming to an end, but I certainly didn't feel the need to threaten him, ever.
But without you, no more support, no more money. It was an end to his social status. If you lost, he lost everything, didn't he?
No, not his life.
Thanks to
He
me,
gastado un montón de cosas en el capítulo 8.
I'll be leaving you. Have we covered everything?
Absolutely.
Y ahora estoy canino, tío.
Louis, one more thing, please.
¿Qué te pasa a ti?
I wanted to thank you for your support during the conference. You've made the right choice, and it gives me tremendous satisfaction to have you with me on this project.
Perderemos.
What is at stake is worth it, my lord. Now, I won't hide from you the fact that I have no idea by what miracle we could ever get a unanimous vote.
Trust me, Louis. We still have a few more cards
Trust
to
me,
play.
I am engineer.
Anything can happen in politics.
I'll see you later, my lord.
Ahora que te jodan. Ay, no puedo poner el turbo. Ahora. Vuelve a tu habitación, puto drogadicto. Vaya, vaya con la duquesa, así que es más puta que las gallinas, que aprendieron a nadar para follarse los patos.
Yes, sir.
Your yes is not sufficient. Tell the others for crying out loud.
¿Qué te pasa a ti? Tanto gritas, normal.
Louis, once again, bravo for what you did.
Te meto ahí un cabezazo que te hundo
Would have blown his brains out.
te hundo el
You've got
tochón para
courage.
adentro.
I like this. We just lost a vote for the next conference, and we already had fewer votes than Hall. I must absolutely find a solution.
Excuse me, sir, but given recent events, I find it somewhat cavalier to return to your political preoccupations so quickly.
Mira, a este le mola el protocolo.
You must find me inhumane, but what can I do? We are here to decide upon the fate of our nations, Louis. It is time you realize what is at stake here. I hold nothing against Monsieur Pirou personally, but what concerns me most right now is to not lose sight of the objectives of this meeting. In short, we haven't a minute to lose. I'll leave you now.
Just a minute. What did Duchess Hillsborough propose last night?
Oh, nothing worth worrying about. The pretty little pudding eater found no better tactic than to threaten me. She would have been better off sliding into my bed. At least we wouldn't have wasted part of the night talking for nothing.
Threatened you, you say?
That's what I said.
Hmm.
I think I'm going to have to be careful of English troops crisscrossing the Mediterranean for a while. The witch would let loose the wrath of the English crown on my august person. But if she thinks
Asqueroso.
that would scare a Bonaparte, she is mistaken. Now, Louis, time is running short, and as I said, I'm in a hurry. I have to go now. I will see you later.
Pero este está mirando, tío. Esto es política, Antonio, tío. Aquí hay que saber... ¿Puedo entrar ahora?
Sorry, sir, but you cannot go
Vaya,
through.
qué raro. Ha aparecido,
Very clear instructions from Lord Mortimer.
ha aparecido un fulano de estos aquí.
Must rest.
Qué extraño, ¿eh? Me colaré por la parte de atrás. Por detrás me gusta más. Ah, no, no me deja entrar. Hijo de puta.
My dearest son.
Han cerrado todo para que no pueda colarme por el balcón. Qué hijos de puta, tío. Qué cabrones. Mira, todo cerrado. Sí, sí. ¿Y esto qué es? No sé qué habitación es esta. Llama a la puerta y se pone, no contesta. Nothing. Volveré a insistir.
Emily? Emily, are you there?
Nothing.
Emily?
Yes. Louis, is that you?
Yes, let me in.
I'm sorry, Louis. I don't feel very well. I'll see you later.
Are you sure everything's all right? Are you still there?
No hay follasca. Qué asco. Encima se me ha quedado el muñeco congelado. Bah. En fin. Nada, Godoy no quiero verle. No me cae bien. Te iba a golpear con los mofletes en el culo. ¡Placa, placa! Por ala, a dormir. Un Vladimir y a dormir. Ah, viene alguien. ¿Quién es?
Louis, open up, please.
Coming, Mr. President, I'm coming.
Louis. Oh, there you are at last.
Yes,
I just saw your
¿Qué
mother.
quieres?
She was accompanied by Emily, and they both went into the Duchess's room. I tried to join them, but I was refused entry.
Vaya,
Louis,
vaya.
This does not bode well.
Shit. Emily might want to avenge her sister. I must act quickly. You're right, Mr. President.
Claro.
Thank you.
Gracias, amigo. Pero sal de mi habitación, hijo de puta. Se cae adentro. Tengo que ir rápido. A la habitación de la muchacha esta. Era aquí, ¿no? ¡Corre, Magufo! ¡Corre! ¡Que llegas tarde! ¡Que la matan!
I do believe that's Emily's voice.
Tengo mis poderes magúficos y mis ganzúas.
I can't open it. It must be blocked on the other side. I'll have to find another way in, quick.
Pues el camino más cercano para entrar por aquí debe ser por el jardín, ¿no? ¿Me puedo colar por la habitación de Bonaparte? Por aquí, por aquí, por aquí y por aquí. O la de Perú o la de Bonaparte. Pero antes me he dado cuenta que me habían cerrado la ventana, así que es un poco puta mierda, ¿sabes? Ah, mira, ahora está abierta. Vaya, está cerrada. ¡Pimba! Así se abren las puertas. Cago en Dios. No hay tiempo para sutilezas.
It's as if there were several people inside.
Once again, you're the one who's the victim in all this.
A letter from William the Younger
I should never have
addressed
told you
to
what
William.
happened to me.
Pero antes de meterme en la escena, voy a robar todo lo que pueda.
Who will circle the law?
Stop. We'll end up losing everything if you keep on.
Café.
Dear Gregory, thank you for the information.
La,
I've
la,
managed
la,
to
la,
find
la,
out about the names you gave me. George Washington is a man you forgot.
Que te jodas.
I've retrieved everything.
Dame los puntos. Oh, vaya.
Golden elixir.
Ya han matado a alguien. Que llega tarde.
You... Mother?
How dare you do this to me? You can talk.
After everything I've done for you, you are joking, I hope, right?
Oh.
I gave you my life.
Vaya.
That's enough, Emma. Now that Louis is here,
Qué
you will
extraño
leave
acontecimiento.
alone. Cease your revenge immediately. What? If you think
Son
you are
gemelas.
going to- Louis, help me, I beg
Son gemelas, son dos pares de tetas.
you. I can no longer reason with her. I am Emily. Quit playing games. What? Honestly, don't be ridiculous. No.
¿Y a quién me follé anoche?
You are wasting
Si
your
se visten
time.
igual.
Louis knows very well how to tell us apart. After everything we've been through together.
Yes, well...
Don't you dare bring him into this. This is between you and me.
¡Que han matado a mi
I'm
madre!
asking nothing more, so stop taking it out on Sarah. You prissy little bitch. How dare you?
Pelandrusca.
Now that I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? You are joking, I hope. I'm the one who
¿Y por
told
qué
you everything
no
that's
me
been
quedo
going
quieto en
on
un sitio?
while you were
¿Estás con una o estás con otra?
Go on then. That's what you want, isn't it? You want to kill me.
¿Y por qué no me puedo quedar con las dos?
Shoot. After all the trouble I've gone through to find you. Go on. What are you waiting for? Here, Louis, take this.
Wait, what's going...
An entire life for this. Go on, shoot. Sorry, Louis, I can't shoot her. She's my sister. That's enough, Emma. Louis, out of the way. She's dangerous. Don't trust her. What are you trying to do? Louis, out of the way. I am not Emma. Come on, Louis, tell her who the real Emily is.
Wait,
That's right, Louis. I'm fed up with this little game. Tell him who the real Emily
¿Quién es la auténtica? No lo sé.
Why do these things always happen to me?
Well, Louis, come on, you know how to tell us apart.
Aunque esta tiene
right?
una marca entre las tetas, ¿eh? No sé si os habéis fijado vosotros en el detalle.
to make sure there's no doubt.
Como una puñalada.
Rational and open, Louis. Let's see. How can I tell them apart? Wait, I've got an idea.
On the night of our arrival, you had asked me what had become of me since we last met in London some years before. What did I answer?
You are an occultist, Louis.
Eso es verdad.
You told me what happened to you at Hexham Abbey. I already told her, Louis. I was there.
Right. Let's find something else. Ah, yes. Let's speak about my arrival at the manor.
Es inmune.
When we arrived at the manor, someone was already present in the Great Hall. Who was it?
George Washington, President of the United States,
Eso también es verdad.
Of course you are able to reply. I'm the one who told you.
Very well.
Let's try something else.
On the first night, we went up to bed, but I wasn't tired. I went for a little stroll. Before going to bed, I went for a stroll. Did we speak to each other during that stroll?
You must be mistaken. After going up to bed, I went straight to sleep. But she knows all that, Louis. I already told her. Don't think you're going to get away with this deception so easily. I can assure you, you're going to regret pretending to be me once Louis has exposed you.
Right. I don't think I'll get very far like this.
No, hay que matar a una de las dos, tío.
Oh, I don't think I'll even wait until he's finished.
Take it easy.
Aunque bueno, mientras todavía esté caliente, se puede aprovechar.
I better act quickly if I don't want things to get out of hand.
Come on. She's
Es una pena que el microondas no se inventara hasta el siglo XIX, XX.
You were prepared to shoot me down.
Pero bueno, seré breve, ¿sabes?
In the secret room behind the study. Talk to them about what you've been doing. Maybe they haven't spoken about it between each other yet.
On the night of the disappearance of Elizabeth Adams.
What about it? What do you want to know about that night?
Uf. Tengo que mirar una cosa. A ver. ¿Dónde estás, tía? Esta es Emma. La manipulación no le va, vale. Y a esta, la psicología. Pero es inmune a la lógica. Vale, a la psicología. Entonces, ahora necesito saber... Esto es distracción. Manipulación es la... Vale, esto está claro que es el muñequito. Vale, ¿es distracción? No, no es.
Remember? How did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
Sword toward the Gorgon, Gorgon toward the shield, shield toward the sword, lantern toward the shield. Of course, I told her how to do it. That's enough! I've had enough of this charade. Louis, there's only one way to tell us apart. There's just one thing I didn't tell her about in detail. Too bad for you, Emma. I didn't want it to come to this, but you leave me no choice. Ask her about you and I. You just lost, Emma.
Es raro, pero las dos tienen la marca en el entretament. Ah, me he fijado.
Come, Louis. Speak about our intimacy.
Very well. Let's talk about us.
Sí, ¿eso qué pasó? Le preguntemos a la que tiene la pistola porque la otra es como muy...
Last night, you came to visit me, and I can't help wondering why.
Toma.
Why did you come to my room?
Louis, you must be mistaken. I did not go to your room last night, and that's where your little game ends, Emma. Because I never told you about it. So, there you can't answer. What? No! You didn't do that. I didn't want you to be jealous of Louis. Remember how you always used to react whenever you felt you were competing against you dirt!
That's enough. I've had enough of this charade. That's enough, both of you. Now I know who the real Emily is.
Emily está delante de ti. Emily está detrás. Emily está detrás.
You are Emily Hillsborough.
I knew you wouldn't get it wrong, Louis. No! You little bitch!
Criminólogo. Zorra, zorra. Oh.
No.
Ha matado a su hermana. Venga, a fallar.
See what you've
Aún se puede.
done. See.
Venga, vamos.
Louis? What on earth is going on?
Mother!
Go. You must leave. Everyone's going to arrive. Louis, what's going on?
Duchess? Is everything all right?
Go! Go, Mother! No one must find you here.
Go. Come, Louis. There's nothing more you can do.
But I...
Leave us.
Emily, what's going on?
Mother, go to the crypt. I'll meet you there.
I'll be waiting for you.
Corre, madre, corre.
Emily.
Madam, I'm coming in.
It was bound to end like this, Louis. Let me stay with her, please. Go, I'll cover you.
Vaya.
What? What are you doing there? Stop!
Pumba.
Damn it. Now what's going on?
Qué interesante. Quiero entrar otra vez. No puedo. Oh. ¿Y este hombre? Este es el alemán. ¿Qué hace aquí? Tío, que se carga el alemán. Qué gratuito, ¿no? Hostia, ¿y yo cómo interactúo con este tío? Si está ahí... A este le han dado... han pegado un pisapapeles en la cabeza. Se está poniendo bronco el asunto, ¿eh? Se está poniendo bronco.
Good God. They're all here. They must have heard the gunshot.
Where is Lord Mortimer? Can anyone hear anything through the door?
Vamos a hacer como que no hemos visto nada. Hola, amigos.
Did you hear that? I was not dreaming, was I?
Certainly not, Duke Godoy.
What's going on?
Someone had the bang coming from the Duchess's room. She isn't answering. Gentlemen, go back to your rooms. Go back to your rooms. I shall find out from Lord Mortimer what this is all about. Thank you.
Este guarrinongo sabe todo. Y no dice nada.
My instructions are clear, sir. No one is...
Muy bien, hombre, no pasa nada. Que te jodan. Voy a hacer una vuelta de reconocimiento. Sé que me tengo que ir abajo, pero voy a hacer una vuelta de reconocimiento a ver si puedo rascar algo. Está todo cerrado. Sí, parece que es domingo. No puedo robar nada. Todas las puertas están cerradas. Qué tristeza. O para abajo. Voy súper pelado, ¿eh? No tengo casi de nada ya, tío. Un puto laberinto este. Te juro que vivo en esta casa y le corto el seto, pero vamos. Lo dejo a ras de suelo. Hombre, vieja bruja, ¿qué pasa con tu rollo? Vámonos, vámonos.
Mother, wait,
Come, we have to be quick.
No, wait, Mother,
Time is running out, Louis. First, we must...
No.
No.
That's enough.
No.
I won't go a step further unless you explain to me what is going on here. I'm begging you. Talk to me.
You must trust me, my son. You are not ready yet.
You're the one who should trust me. Tell me what's happening.
You would never believe me.
I came all the way here for you. Now I've found you. I'm ready, Mother.
If only... Louis, I have always taught you to keep your mind open and rational.
Claro.
I know you are going to find this hard to believe, but what I am going to reveal to you is entirely true. Many years ago, I found out that demons really do live among us.
I beg your pardon.
Yo me la creo, ¿eh?
And that they can influence our thoughts.
Mother, listen to yourself. I know you're exhausted, but for crying out loud, listen to what you're saying. Demons? What next? An ancient monster with a head like an octopus?
Acaba de hablar de Cthulhu.
Have they got horns and a pointed tail?
No, these are not creatures with billy goat's legs. Forget your Christian folklore. Imagine them more as parasitic spirits. They possess their hosts and direct them from inside.
Parasitic spirits?
Yes, they are capable of going from one body to another as they see fit. And 2 of them are present on this island.
Right. So let me guess. Don't tell me. It isn't Volner and Duke Manuel, is it?
Don't talk nonsense. Both of those poor souls are mere pawns in the hands of the real players.
I was answering at random, Mother.
Toma.
Do you really believe that I'm joking here? Many years
Por
ago,
tonto.
well before you were born, I crossed paths with one of them. Since then, I've spent my life trying to find it again. When we recovered the Alizif, I was persuaded that von Burchard was working for this demon in one way or another. But I thought he would hand the book to a middleman during this conference. That's where I made an error, an error that could well turn out to be fatal. The one who Burchard was meant to give the book to was none other than the demon in person, Mortimer. Not to mention that Holm had sent Volner to get it for him.
Holm and Mortimer are demons?
They both seem to disagree about many things, but I'll admit I never knew exactly why. There are many of them, Louis, not just those two.
El juego ha cambiado, ¿eh? Ahora nos enfrentamos a demonios.
But you do too. You had everything laid out in front of you. Didn't you notice anything?
Sí, sí.
Well, those property deeds across the world, all signed by the same hand, and over several centuries.
I am proud of you, Louis.
I found your notes, written in lemon juice.
Where all eyes size you up. At one stage, I was so afraid of losing my mind that I noted everything down. Congratulations, Louis. Wait, please tell me you didn't open Pandora's box.
The urn? No, I didn't. Why?
Good. We'll deal with it later.
I came across his family tree, in his study.
An only son.
Since the Third Crusade.
The fall of St. John of Acre, Louis. The fall of St. John of Acre.
I went beyond the Nightmare Mother.
You understood the Masonic date.
1191.
Of course! It was during that siege that the demon took possession of Sir Mortimer. They spent a whole night in conversation until the early hours of the morning. Mortimer had passed the test. He had charmed the demon, and so it chose him to be its host for centuries to come. But tell me, did you find his secret study?
I did indeed.
Did you see his maps of the world?
He has contacts the world over.
Yes, I've been developing the Golden Order across the world for many years, and I've never seen anyone with such influence. It's simply inhuman.
I must admit, I found it difficult to understand how and why Mortimer didn't have a place in history.
Está complicado, ¿eh?
On the continent, Mortimer and Holm are mere dandies who organize society balls. History forgets them with a disconcerting facility. No one speaks about them, and yet they whisper in the ears of kings and presidents.
You mean the conference?
How can you explain that someone manages to bring together so many important figures without anyone knowing?
And without any security or personnel.
Louis, I am proud of you. You came all this way. You found me. You have surpassed me.
You taught me everything I know. Right. How did it all begin?
I saw him.
What do you mean you saw him?
I was 20 years old. I was young and carefree. I traveled the world in search of adventure. In the Persian Gulf, we came across an ancient grimoire that became unlocked. Composed of 7 parts, each one was a book in itself, set in a sort of metal armor that structured the whole thing. When all the volumes were brought together, they formed a single book. On my return to Paris, I set to studying these pages. I spent all my days and nights studying them.
Oh, I can imagine you doing that.
But the writing was in a language I had never seen before, developed well before
Vaya, vaya.
in my opinion. So I got the idea to form a small occult circle composed of all the major names in the occult world to see if anyone else could crack it.
And you found no one.
And I found someone, Louis. I found him, or rather he found me. He was young, charismatic, he was flamboyant.
Wait a minute, who are you talking about? Von Borchardt?
No, Mortimer, of course. He was a veritable mine of knowledge. I showed him the book, and he was able to decipher a few passages. We spent several months together studying the pages. He helped me understand certain passages until I realized that he only translated a few parts for me. But I had aroused his interest. It was too late.
How so?
I mean to say he manipulated me. He used me, and in the end, he stole the book with all its secrets.
Did he ever go to your place?
Not once. At least I don't think so. But before disappearing, he proposed a pact between us. He proposed that I follow him and let him teach me, allow him to bring me up.
And you accepted?
Please don't be stupid. You don't make deals with the devil. After that, I spent my whole life looking for him. 3 years later, in Berlin, I just missed him. In London, I lost 6 members of the order in a chase. In 1741, in Tunisia, I found a sect of fanatics who had crossed paths with him once. 1741, in Poland. 1749, in India.
8 years ago in Venice.
We agreed never to speak about what happened in Venice, Louis.
You agreed, and that was before you spoke to me about demons. Wait, the baby we delivered, you and me, that night in Venice, did he have anything to do with Lord Mortimer?
The child was his son.
We stole his son? Are you insane? I always thought we took him to save him.
That was the case. It was precisely to save him from his father.
Need I remind you the mother died during childbirth? What became of the child?
Later. For the moment, that is not the key issue.
Se está poniendo rara la historia,
Once we found the Alazif in Paris, I followed von Borchart's trail here. I didn't think it would lead me straight to the demon. It was careless of me. He toyed with me for a few days, until I caught on, until I saw him as he was. But he had no intention of letting me leave. We are all his pawns, Louis, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our lives turning round in circles here, we must absolutely get off this island. All right, can we move on?
Wait a minute, one last thing. I want to know what happened with Elizabeth Adams.
Louis, we haven't time for those details.
I'm sorry, Mother, but I want to know.
She was one of the receptacles for these monsters. I met her parents when she was born. One of the demons got inside her. The demon used her to spy on her father, John Adams. He is one of the founding fathers and vice president of the United States, you know.
Mortimer possessed her?
No, I don't think it was Mortimer. Her father, John Adams, hired me to tend to her, but the evil in her was too deep. In spite of the various treatments I tried on her, I never succeeded in getting it out of her. It's not something I'm proud of, Louis, but I had to try everything.
Do you know who killed her?
Absolutely not.
Joder, chaval.
I want to know what
O
happened
sea, la del pelo
between you and
blanco
Emily's sister.
Great
tenía un demonio
responsibility
dentro.
often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
Mother, I won't take a step further if you don't answer me.
You dare blackmail me?
I'm listening.
All right, I used her. So there you are. Happy now? We had the Al-Azif, and I didn't think we would be able to escape with it. In order to ensure that the book did not fall into their hands, or that one of them couldn't read in us where we had hidden it, I asked Emily to...
It's Emma.
Yes, or rather for me, it was Emily. So I asked Emma to hide it without anyone seeing. And then I disposed of her. I am sorry for her, but she was part of the Golden Order, Louis. She knew the rules when she joined.
What did you negotiate about the Al-Azif with Volner?
Absolutely nothing. I managed to pull the wool over his eyes until I found a way to flee.
Está complicado,
What was going on with the cannons in Tuscany?
It was nothing.
Since when does the Order finance wars?
The cannons for that Bonaparte fellow? Listen. Once in the lion's den, I did whatever I could to appear legitimate. So yes, I pretended to be interested in Mortimer's project about a young military man who was seeking funding for a foundry in Tuscany. Between you and me, if buying China would have enabled me to escape, I would have signed without hesitation.
Ya que estoy,
You wanted to send me a letter about
que me lo cuente todo.
I wanted you to run a check on Duke Manuel, but frankly it doesn't really matter anymore now. Godoy is just a pawn like the others. He is not the one I was looking for.
Are you going to tell me what happened to your hand?
Better than that, I shall show you.
You know, I found your package under a wharf plank.
As a matter of fact, I needed it yesterday. I wasn't expecting anyone to take it.
On the evening of my arrival, Cardinal Piaggi came looking for you. He was determined to give you a letter.
More of his lists. Louis, I think I know what's in that letter, and I beseech you to believe that it is the least of our worries. We can sort that out later.
Vale.
Good. I think that's about right. We shall speak about it once we get back to France.
Me he quedado seco de todo. De diamantes, de inventario.
They are playing with our destiny. We are their slaves. And it's time for it to stop. By the way, what was Mortimer's project at this conference?
He wants the United States to occupy all the North American territory. France should recover Louisiana and give it to the United States. In that case, the Americans would just have to push west to chase the Spanish from the continent once and for all.
And as Mortimer controls Washington, you may just as well say that it will put him at the head of a world superpower. We should do our utmost to put a stop to Mortimer's plans. But for the time being, there are more pressing matters.
Chan chan
Are you gonna
chan.
tell me why we're here?
There. That's why we are here.
Bethesda. Skyrim. ¿Ah? He dejado rastros en los aposentos de Napoleón Bonaparte. Vaya. Podría haber sido testigo de la determinación de Napoleón Bonaparte. Podría haber hablado con el cardenal Piaggi. Podría haber obtenido información acerca de Al-Alcif. Podría haber accedido a la habitación de Jacques Perú a través del balcón. Pues mira, no se me ha ocurrido. Le he cagado un poco, las cosas como son, sí. Sí. Vamos a tenerlo en cuenta que le he cagado un poco. Es que con 4 puntos no voy a ningún lado, ¿sabes? O sea, esto es una crap. Capítulo 10.
Reassure me, we aren't going to have to force that one, are we?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to open it.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 5 objects before we try anything.
Are the 5 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the Clement III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
Why a cross?
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, but it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
Remember, Mother. I'm certain you can remember.
Let me think.
You were running.
I was bleeding to death.
You remember the pain.
I thought I was going to faint. Yes, I remember. I don't think it can be far, can it?
Would you have lost it outside?
No, I don't think so. It must be in the area. I don't remember going up with it.
Perfect. I'll search the crypt before leaving. Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
3 clavos que están en el estudio.
The rollers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course. Exegesis. Anything else?
Me tendría que apuntar esa mierda para que no se me olvide, ¿sabes?
Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
Uf, qué pesadilla, tío.
Yes, but it's enormous.
No tenemos que pedir cosas, tío.
If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
What did you do then?
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
Uy, se me ha quedado el teléfono. A ver, en este papel, ¿esto qué es? Vale, aquí mismo. Ay, que se me ha caído. A ver, las fechas, amiga.
What do you mean by the concordance of dates exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them. They are written on the back of the message I just gave you.
Some nails?
A ver, que me lo repita.
Don't ask me.
A ver si
I'm
lo he
not the
apuntado
one who
bien.
made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
In a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rollers. 1191 to enter.
Sí, lo he apuntado
and
bien.
6466 to exit.
Of course.
One last thing before you go. Be very careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be spies of Mortimer or Holm. Don't ever confide in anyone because a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them though. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them, for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past 2 days. And not one of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us. And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6466.
Sí, sí, lo tengo apuntado, lo tengo apuntado. Hostia. Ay, ¿qué es esto? Vale, voy a hacer una foto con el móvil, tío, porque esto se me va a ir la pinza, pero totalmente, ¿sabes? Se me va a olvidar, seguro.
if I can work it out myself. It looks like a kind of control panel. There's a cross-shaped slot there. I'd say you've got to place a claim on the third cross in it.
Obviamente.
It looks like certain mechanisms I've seen before. I wouldn't be surprised if I had to put the claim of the third cross in it.
You ought to go, Louis. If someone finds us here, the situation might well become seriously complicated.
Pues nada. Rápidamente a buscar por la cripta. ¿Dónde puede ser que esté la cruz?
Famous cross of Clement, a Chinese coin, recognizable by the hole in the middle. If I remember rightly, let's call the cash.
You ought to go, Louis. If someone finds us here, the situation might well become seriously complicated.
Sí, sí, no te preocupes. Coño, puta vieja. Cagondeu. No te preocupes, ya encontré el camino. El puto seto, mira esto, tío. Qué asco de seto. Me he perdido. No sé encontrar el camino a través del seto. Pero además de verdad, ¿eh? O sea... ¡Pero qué puta mierda! ¡Que llamen al jardinero! Lo primero que voy a hacer va a ser ir a por los clavos, que es lo más fácil.
Son of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near. His brain is oozing.
Una caja.
A fragment of amber.
A fragment of amber. Qué curioso. Aquí. Ahí hay algo.
A Byzance.
Nadie me ha visto entrar en la cueva. Creo que la vez que la vez que viene activé la trampa, ¿sabes? Sí, sí, está bien, ese es el código. Venga, ponlo. Joder. Ajá.
Of course.
Of course. Al menos estoy recuperando cosas de las que fui perdiendo, ¿sabes?
If Mortimer's plan succeeds, the United States
Mira, el
will
mismo
indeed
cuadro.
double in size. It would mean the end of the Spanish presence in North America. Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimor. Gilhelm Trimor. Trimor. An anagram of Mortimer. Wow. Arrogant enough to publish writings on mental control. Full view of everyone. I wonder who he's writing for. A hand of tarot cards. The Emperor, a symbol of power and stability. Temperance, which expresses a reward. And the Chariot, that evokes triumph. If this hand is anything to go by, Mortimer's destiny promises to be glorious.
A ver si me acuerdo dónde estaban los clavos.
Feathers, pigeons probably. Looks like obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton. What on earth could that be?
Mira, el símbolo del monster. ¿Dónde putas están los clavos, tío?
A Van Leeuwenhoek microscope? The most sophisticated microscope there is. When I think of the difficulty the Order had in getting hold of one of these... There. Those are the nails I was looking for. I noticed they were old and rusty, but I hadn't noticed these traces of... Could that be blood?
¡Sangre de Cristo!
Is it really the relic of the Holy Cross? I can hardly believe it.
Me lo llevo.
It's locked.
¿Y las otras mierdas? ¿Dónde que...? Luego dijo en la... Ah, están ahí. Vale, la cruz la tengo. Los clavos los tengo. La Biblia la está usando Emma en la habitación de la torre. El Génesis está en la galería de retratos. Y la esfera, a saber.
All right, come on. Let's get out of here. 6466, if I remember correctly.
A ver, Emma en la habitación de la torre. La habitación de la torre. Despacho de Mortimer. Entrada a la cripta. ¿Será esto? ¿Cuál es la habitación de la torre? Bueno, vamos a empezar por la galería de retratos. Porque ahora mismo la habitación de la torre... Bueno, espérate un momento. La habitación de Hillsborough... Habitación de la torre, estoy al lado. Vale, es hacia atrás. Chan, chan.
Ah, Louis.
Ah,
Glad you're here.
vaya.
Blasted. He's gonna talk about my mother.
Come and see what I've found. There are pieces of paper in the ashes of the chimney. Someone's been burning something here.
Incredible. He doesn't seem to want to speak to me about what happened between my mother and the Hillsborough sisters. Show me a little.
Look, it's possible to distinguish two different writing styles.
The rest of the
Sí,
correspondence between
interesante.
my mother and Emma.
Someone tried to burn an exchange of messages. I'm certain. There must be more.
Shit. What on earth is he doing?
If you want my opinion, a servant must have burnt some old papers. That's all.
Why, of course. You very nearly made me think that you were trying to hide something, Louis. No, I'm sure there must be other hidden
Vale, a este no se le puede manipular.
He won't let go. He's going to work his way back to the Bible if he continues.
Hay que tener cuidado, ¿eh? La puedo cagar.
Hey, look, there.
No, I don't see anything.
Come, Louis, look. Someone's clearly drawn a 4 in the dust. I have a clue.
I better take the Bible before he works his way back to it. The Bible's still there.
Casi me pilla el pelo mocho ese. Oye, que me voy a pirar, ¿eh? Ah, pues sí, me deja salir. Puta madre. Un tonto menos. Un tonto a las 3. Ahora se pone con la música a tope. Sí, sí.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth in the lid.
Y lo que te queda de aguantar. Te las va a hacer de todos los colores, ya verás.
Right. Let's see if the statues are in place yet. The sword toward the Gorgon. That's good. It's in the right place. The lantern is already in the right position. Turned toward
No,
the
solamente a
shield.
una.
Shield
La otra
toward
está
the
muerta.
sword. Well, that's good. The statue is already in the right place. The lantern is already in the right position. Turned toward the shield.
Bueno, si están bien colocadas, ¿por qué no me abres la puerta?
That statue is not positioned correctly.
Open sesame.
Se ha puesto la historia súper chunga, tío. Súper chunga.
That's the exegesis of Judas. I hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often, otherwise he's going to notice that someone's stolen it. But that's just too bad. I need it.
Vale, la puta esfera. A saber dónde está la esfera, muy bien. La esfera armilar.
Caesar's laurel wreath. Mortimer really is what my mother said. Given all the relics preserved here, it wouldn't surprise me if Mortimer claimed it was Excalibur. The Ring of the Nibelungs. Even if Mortimer is several centuries old, I don't see what part he has in this legend. So that's Pandora's box? An urn? Mother seemed worried that I was able to open it. I wonder why. So, I did well not to touch it.
No la puedo tocar. Jo.
Right. I've got what I need. Now let's not waste any more time.
Clic. Pero la esfera no la tengo.
Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one that I can take with me. Otherwise I risk drawing too much attention to my comings and goings. Now, where can I find a smaller one?
Sí, ¿eh? ¿Dónde puedo encontrar yo una esfera armiral más pequeña que esta? ¿Dónde he visto yo una mierda de esas? No lo sé. Tal vez... Tal vez aquí. Pues no. Lo bueno que hay cosas para robar, eso sí. Eso está guay. Pero lo de la esfera, tío. No se me ocurre dónde puede haber una mierda de esas. Aparte del despacho, del notas. Sí, ese es el caso, que en alguna tiene que estar. Creo que ahora me dejan entrar por todos lados, pero... Ahora preguntarle al fulano este.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
¿Puedo preguntar?
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
Nada. Ahora no puedo hablar con él. Claro, el tema es en cuál de ellos, ¿sabes? Aquí no me dejan entrar. Está confirmado. No sé por qué me da en la del cura, a lo mejor.
It's a beautiful weapon, my dearest son.
¿No hay nadie en esta puta mansión o qué? Esta es la habitación de la guarrilla.
younger, but a letter from William Pitt the Elder addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
No, no me dejan pasar, ¿no? Bueno, pues vamos a explorar todas las que nos dejen entrar, claro. O sea...
Grammar of Port-Royal. Ah, the artistry of the French language in all its splendor. Whoever masters French commands the world. At least une partie of it.
Que no hay nadie, tío. Me estoy, vamos, rebañando toda la puta ciudad. Bueno, dice, todas las habitaciones.
Don Quixote.
Y no hay nadie.
Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim.
En la mía no creo que esté, pero bueno, quién sabe.
I'll have to think about that one.
Demasiado descarado que tuviera yo la... el Wolmer. El alemán es Wolmer. A lo mejor es la del cura. Pero voy a mirar en la mía también por si acaso, ¿sabes? No sea que... una puta casualidad de...
Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here.
No puedo entrar al cura por el balcón. Es que una vez que haya visitado todas las habitaciones, lo único que me queda es mirar arriba en el despacho del dueño. Hombre, hasta que el cura. Cuidado, había algo ahí. Ah, un cuadro. Fíjate que acaba de entrar en la habitación del cura y el tío no se da ni cuenta, ¿eh? Me queda esta. Qué raro uno. A ver, esta es la de George Washington. A lo mejor está aquí, ¿eh? Pero como el tonto estaba también para ir dando vueltas. Pues no. Pero por aquí se puede ir al balcón. Tiene balcón propio, hijo puta. A ver, ahí detrás del alemán. Sí, algo hay por ahí, tío. Y aquí está la habitación de la loca. Espérate. Si ojo de halcón dice que está, es que está. Bueno, hay una moneda ahí.
Golden elixir.
Bueno, lo que hay es un montón de cosas para robar, eso sí.
Four-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Hostia, ¿y qué letra crees tú? A ver. Aquí pone Ipou. Claro, no tengo tanto conocimiento. Vamos a poner... No. Y no tengo puntos... Ah, espera un momento.
If I'm not mistaken, Paracelsus named the element called
Zinc.
zinc.
Vale, está bien. Ni tan mal.
Amber crystals. A pound.
Mira, ahí está la esfera esa.
An armillary sphere. Perfect. That will save me some time. I only hope that he isn't going to realize it right away.
Tendría que escapar por el balcón a modo de seguridad, ¿sabes? En vez de salir por la puerta que me digan ¿y qué hace usted aquí? A una vuelta, tío, ¿qué pasa? Entonces, si hago esto... A ver... Ah, no. Salir por una habitación que no es, ¿sabes? Puedo despistarlos. Soy un genio. Sí, sí, el bolsillo es, vamos. Tremendo, ¿eh? Tremendísimo. Bueno, vamos al sótano. A poner todas las piezas. Ahora pasará algo de camino al sótano, ya verás. No va a ser tan fácil irse así como así, ¿sabes? Es que me lo veo venir. Sí. Ahora tengo que resolver el puzzle en el sótano. Pero te digo yo que algo va a pasar. Algo feo. Esa es la una, ¿eh? Ya tendría que estar durmiendo. Me tengo que levantar a las 6. Más o menos. ¿Por qué mierdas me meto yo en la biblioteca? No, tío, me voy al aeropuerto. Tengo que aparcar el coche entre las 7 y 7 y media más o menos. Pero me tengo que duchar y toda esa mierda, ¿sabes? Y ya. Y no me gusta correr. Me gusta ir con tiempo a los sitios. Suá. Voy al polígono, dejo el coche y me voy con el bus a la terminal. Pasar el arco de seguridad y todo ese rollo, ¿sabes? A ver la cara del puto Antonio. Si se digna a bajar.
So, good. You've managed to gather all the keys.
Yes, that's right.
Sí, lo tengo todo.
What should I start with?
Place the Clement III cross on the console. Then you have to put the nails on the disc of the door.
All right, my turn now.
Vale.
Go ahead. Impress
Los
me.
clavos allí
I'll shut up and
y
let you
las piezas aquí. Aquí va la cruz.
The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. This exegesis contains comments from Judas on the different Gospels. It only contains certain chapters and verses, and the chapters are indicated by Roman numerals. The lexicon refers to different chapters and verses from the exegesis of Judas. Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. Chapter 5, verse 2. Now, there is at Jerusalem, by the sheep market, a pool, which is called, in the Hebrew tongue, Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of the blind, halting, and withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Chapter 5, verse 2.
Me he apuntado 3793. Es la segunda línea.
Now, there is at Jerusalem, by
Joder,
the
ahora se tiene que repetir todo el texto, tío.
in the Hebrew tongue, Bethesda, having 5 porches.
Este es el 26 de marzo del 33.
In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of the blind, halting, and withered.
Y ahí no veo ningún 33, pero bueno.
Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk.
Venga, tío, ya, termina ya de... Joder, pesadilla, tío, en serio. Que no se puedan pasar los textos, una pesadilla.
And on the same day was the Sabbath. The fresco clearly shows the birth of Christ.
Louis, I can assure you that that is not the solution to this enigma. This fresco's only purpose is to mislead. I know that now. Please, focus on another theme about Christ.
We'll have to trust her.
You
could see that the paint has come off in parts. Difficult to see what was there, but I can distinguish the letters N-R-I. Nothing more.
INRI.
Why, of course. They're part of the initials INRI.
Muy típico.
That you can find on the cross of Jesus
Sí, es un
and his
mural.
crucifixion.
Bueno, un graffiti que han puesto por ahí. Mira, no puedo descifrar. Analizar.
Yes, it's definitely a representation of the birth of Christ, but some of the details have flaked away. I can't see any other clues. One thing is for sure, this enigma deals with the life of Jesus, like my mother said.
Dificultad 7, lógica 1.
If Mortimer deliberately set a trap by showing the birth of Christ, then maybe the solution is the contrary. The death of Christ in that case? It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions.
No veo ningún 33 ahí, ¿eh?
These towns have one thing in common. They're all related to the life and death of Jesus. For example, Jordan is the place of the baptism of Christ. Clearly, we have names of towns, Arabian numerals, and Roman numerals.
Buah, están las 3 ahí mezcladas, tío.
There are 3 styles of writing, and I've got 3 nails.
Vale.
There must be a link. I must surely put in 1 nail per category.
Sí, claro, eso es bastante obvio, ¿sabes? Vamos a ver, ubicaciones. A ver. Esta del 26 de marzo es el 7 del 607. Vale. Esa por un lado.
Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar.
Le he vuelto a dar a la misma, tío.
In Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda.
Me cago en mi puta calavera.
Fling away their canes.
Le he vuelto a dar a la misma.
Chapter 1, verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan
El
on
9,
the 9th of Hesvan,
el 9,
852.
el 9 de Cesban. ¿Dónde está esa mierda? El bautismo, no lo veo. Del 3852. No, no lo veo.
Chapter 1, verse 9. And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan. And coming up out of the water, he saw the heavens opened,
Sí.
and the Spirit, like a dove,
Es el problema que no se
descended
puede hacer skip, tío. Tienes que tragarte todo el puto texto, ¿sabes?
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified
El 8 de
on the 8th of
Nisan,
Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem.
193. Es el 26 de marzo.
Thorns on his head.
El 8 de Nisan es el 26 de marzo. Un momento. Espérate.
Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan,
El 7
3793, Jesus shared his
no
last
está.
supper in the synagogue in Jerusalem.
¡Me vuelvo loco!
The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now.
Es un puzzle complejo. El 26 del 33, 7 de Saba, del 607. Es la segunda línea.
It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. Chapter 14.
Vale, de vuelta al que no era, tío.
On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his last supper in the synagogue in Jerusalem. Chapter 19, verse 70. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan,
Próximo a Jerusalén.
3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 70.
Qué horror, tío.
Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem.
En el Gólgota. Sí, eso me lo sé. Cuando dice próximo a Jerusalén es el Gólgota.
Chapter 3, verse 18. Words truly pronounced in Abagash. Chapter 3, verse 18. He that believeth in him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
Sí, algo tengo que hacer en esto. A ver, el juicio a lo mejor.
Chapter 10, verse 30. I and the Father are one.
No. Tiene que estar ahí, tío. En el Gólgota, que está cerca de Jerusalén. ¿Hay algún 7? No, ¿verdad? No. Un 607 tampoco hay. ¿Un 8? Tampoco hay un 8. El Gólgota seguro que es el Gólgota, pero el resto, tío. ¿Un 7 en números romanos, a lo mejor? ¿O un 8? Esto es un 14. 14, 13. 19. 24. 5. 17. Culo. No hay 8, no hay 7, no hay 26, 26, es un 24. 24, 22. 19.
It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. There are 3 styles of writing, and I've got 3 nails. There must be a link. I must surely put in 1 nail per category.
Elemental, querido Watson.
Chapter 24, verse 3.
24-3.
Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th
El 14 del 3793.
in Nazareth. He appeared
Vale.
with a halo above his head.
Ahí abajo hay uno. 14, 3793. Equivale al 13 del Shah del 607 y equivale al 1 de abril del 33.
Chapter 24, verse 3. But when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. In their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee."
Estoy yo como para pensar a estas horas, ¿sabes? Aquí está el 24. Y creo que ha hecho Galilea. Que no está aquí. 24. C3. No. Hay un 14. Un 13. Aquí hay un 13. Está complicado esto, ¿eh?
Cross is stuck in the mechanism. I can't do anything. What hole should I put the nails
¿Puedo
in?
preguntar?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't exactly made the best choices myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse.
A ver. Crucifixión.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of
El
Nisan,
8 del 3 de... Vale, esta la tengo apuntada.
3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head.
Próxima Jerusalén.
Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into
¿Ves?
the
El
place
Gólgota. Eso
called
está
the place
apuntado.
of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha.
Eso está bien.
And 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
Eso... Esa pista sí que la tenía. Al menos sabemos la ubicación. Vamos a ver.
Chapter 14, verse 22.
No, pero... No puedes poner todos los clavos en el mismo sitio.
Jesus shared his last supper in the cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 14, verse 22. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it, and gave to them and said, "Take, eat. This is my body." And he took the cup, and when he'd given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it.
O sea, yo no puedo venir aquí a hacer esto. Mira, si yo vengo aquí y quito todo y meto todos los clavos aquí, se va a liar parda, ya verás. ¿Ves? O sea, que uno es en el Gólgota, seguro. A ver el juicio.
Verse 30. I and the Father are one. Chapter 10, verse 30. I and my Father are one.
No, aquí no hay nada. No hay cena, bautismo, crucifixión, eso seguro. Resurrección.
Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan,
El 14 de Nisan.
3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head.
En Nazaret. Me lo voy a apuntar.
Chapter 24, verse 3. But when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. In their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told you
Galilea.
while he was still with you in Galilee."
Acordaos cuando habló en Galilea. Por aquí no está Galilea.
Chapter 1,
A ver, Jordán.
verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan.
El 9 del 3852. Esta no está. Esta no está, ¿ves?
Chapter 1, verse 9. And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan. And coming up out of the water, he saw the heavens opened, and the Spirit like a dove descending upon him.
No, esta no es.
Chapter 2.
Joder, le da la que no quería.
Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Tebeth at midnight.
El 19, dices tú que sí, lo estamos viendo, está en el 22, ¿lo ves? Pero, a ver. El 22 de Tebet. No.
Chapter 2, verse 6. And so it was that, while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered of a child. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
Vale, hay que encontrar ese 17 que dice, ese 17 que dices tú. Ah, vale, está ahí, al lado de Bethesda hay un 17. ¿Y el otro? El otro en el 19. Vamos a ver. El del Gólgota seguro, porque es, ya digo que es donde murió. Mira, pues sí. Al menos la primera parte del puzzle está hecha. Venga, palanquitas ahora.
Well done, Louis. I hadn't seen those other wheels. Try connecting the theme to see if it goes all the way.
There must surely be a connection between the
Vale,
wheels.
Esto está claro que son fases lunares.
Look at this. There are notches between each of the wheels. So, I have to link.
Hay sangre, así que seguramente la madre metió la mano aquí y
then to a date, and finally the date to the moon. There are different icons on this wheel, but it looks like some of them can't be connected to the other wheels. I think I can make out each one of the icons apart from the one covered in blood. Going clockwise from the one I just mentioned, we have the halo that represents the resurrection. The waves represent the baptism of Jesus.
¿Qué olas?
It's more difficult to identify the next one. Maybe a crib, and in that case it's surely linked to the birth.
Ah, vale, estas olas.
The red herring that my mother found. Then the symbol represents the crown of thorns
Vale.
that Jesus wore during his crucifixion. The dove also represents the baptism.
El bautizo.
Certainly another red herring. Then comes the symbol of the
El
Trinity.
símbolo de la Trinidad.
And finally, the candle that must stand
Y el
for
último
the Last Supper.
la última cena es la velita. Vale.
Mother, what do you think?
As I told you, I didn't get that far.
Sí, pues ahí está tu sangre, guarra.
These icons do represent moments in
Sí, sí, algo hay ahora de fechas.
This wheel contains several symbols made up of 1 or 2 figures and 1
Pero
letter.
no hay años ahí, ¿ves?
The highest figure does not exceed 31, and each letter corresponds to a month of the year. A for April, and M for March.
Mira, el 1A.
I think these symbols must
El
represent
1A
a
es
specific
del
date.
nacimiento. Lo estoy viendo aquí, ¿ves? Porque, no, pues mentira, 1A, 1 sí, bueno, puede ser 1 de abril. 1 de abril del 33 equivale al nacimiento, es decir, aquí. A la mierda de esta donde está. El bautismo 7A, a ver. No hay ningún 7A, bueno, está manchado de sangre. Vamos a ver. Mira, ¿ves? El 7A.
7th of Shaban, 6
Cuarto creciente.
first quarter.
O sea, esta de aquí es cuarto. Otra de las que tengo apuntadas es el 13.
13th of Shaban, 607.
Gibosa creciente.
Waxing gibbous.
Vale, estas dos.
8th of Ramadan, 553.
Esta no está, ¿no?
Waxing crescent.
El 8 de Ramadán no está. No. Y el 19 de Yumada va a ser que tampoco. No importa ni que las mire. El 30 de Ramadán sí que está. Del 554.
30th of Ramadan,
Menguante.
554. Waning
30
crescent.
de Ramadán. Menguante. A ver, hay illas. Tanias. Dul Alilla. 20. 20 de 56.
20th of Du al
Gibosa menguante, es igual que esta.
561. Waning gibbous.
Gibosa, el 20 de Du al Illa. Vale, puta madre.
Seventh of Shaban,
Que sígueme, que sí.
607, first quarter.
Era 20 algo, a ver. El 20 del 566, este. Hemos dicho de Dualilla. 22 de marzo del 78. A ver si hay un 22 de marzo del 78. Bueno, estos son los clavos.
This wheel represents the different moons. In the occult sciences, we represent the full moon by an X. As for the dark moon, called the new moon, in cults, well, it's often associated with something harmful. It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions.
Que hemos dicho que era un 22. 22 de marzo. El 22 de marzo. Vamos a girar la luna. Vale, el tema es. Adivina tú cuál es la puta luna gibosa, ¿sabes?
Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme.
No tengo puntos, tío. No puedo hacerlo. Está jodido, ¿eh? Está jodido el asunto, tío. 26 es cuarto creciente con la corona. Vale, y el cuarto creciente es el Es eso, ¿no? No, el cuarto creciente es el... A ver que te leo bien. El 26 de marzo, el 33 y el 7 de Shaban. El 26 de marzo, 7 de Shaban, 8 de Nisan. Vale, pero hay que saber dónde, cuál de ellas hay que elegir, ¿sabes? Ese es el problema. Vamos a ponerlo como está al principio. Vale, el rollo es... ¿Cómo se pone esta mierda? En la ciudad del Golgota, vale. O sea, aquí. Tenemos que empezar cambiando el icono. El icono de la muerte es la corona, ¿no? Y muere el 8, 26 de marzo, 26 de marzo. 26 de marzo, ¿está ahí? Y ahora la luna. La luna... Hemos dicho que era cuarto creciente. Sí, era cuarto creciente. Entonces hay que... ¿Será este el cuarto creciente?
The moon's shadow moves from west to east. During new moon, the moon is entirely in the shadow. Then, the shadow moves from
vale, de
west
izquierda a
to
derecha, vale.
east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states. Waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with a full shadowed new moon.
Creo que está bien, pero no estoy seguro. Nada seguro, ¿eh? Cuarto creciente. ¿Cómo será este? Ya, eso lo he pensado que... ¿Por qué mete la picha ahí, sabes?
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck.
No, dice... Me ha sacado la picha. Me ha sacado la picha por si acaso. No sé, no me da... A mí tampoco me da buen rollo ese... Ese símbolo, tío. Este es que no me da buen rollo, ¿sabes? El que tiene la mitad y mitad con la luz a la derecha. A ver. Hazme caso. Claro, como no es tu mano la que se va a cortar.
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck.
Pues no era esa. Muerto. ¡Oh! Vaya, pues he perdido la mano. Voy a ver los resultados de la conferencia con Manuel Godoy. Bueno, pues nada, aquí se acaba el directo de hoy. Gracias al David he perdido la mano. Se te dan bien, hijo de puta. Se te dan bien los puzzles. Será cabrón manco de mierda. Me voy a acabar el juego siendo manco. En fin, que... Un placer que os hayáis quedado conmigo hasta el final. Nos vemos el lunes cuando vuelva. A ver si hago el cuarto episodio. Hasta luego, manco. Se me da bien, dice hijo de puta. Adiós.
¡Allahu Akbar!